Welcome back to a special edition of the Antisocial Socialite. You're joining me here today in this, out of all places, the dugout. That's right, I'm at Red Wilson Field at my old high school of Dennis Yarmouth Regional High, and I wanted to take the time to do this episode to commemorate so many different things about what I love about Cape Cod. So I am back in my hometown right now, a place that has completely formed me to be the person that I am today. The reason why I'm here at the dugout is because my guest for this episode is actually an alum of the YD Red Sox. That's right, pitcher Eric Berger turned from college athlete to professional baseball player and is now a first-time children's book author. And I actually have Martin the Mushroom right here. He's joining me today. Super cute book. So if you guys are looking for any summer reading for your kids, I highly suggest it. And you will see in my interview with Eric that it's not just a fun kids book, but it's more educational, and it is part of the Treasure Adventures series. So I hope you guys pick up this book and continue with your kids as Eric publishes more books. I also want to dedicate this episode to my friend Nat. I took a break last week. Some of you may have known, some of you are just learning right now, but he did pass away suddenly, and he's been a really close friend of mine from high school into college, and I'm actually having a really difficult time losing him. So thank you guys for your patience. Thanks for letting me be emotional right now, but I'm really having a tough time with his loss. So I figured, let me come back to the Cape, let me be around friends and family, just be able to be home. I feel home here, even though I lived in Boston for close to 10 years now, post school, and was even there, for all 4 years during my college experience. It's good to be home. So I dedicate this episode to Nat, and thank you guys all for loving him as much as you did. I'm planning on doing a video memorial for him. I've had so many friends from college and high school actually submit photos to me, videos, all of that, even some special words to share about him. So thank you guys. I'm not gonna do like the crazy gossip today, even though, it's confirmed Megan Thee Stallion was shot in both feet. We talked about that in a previous episode. People are going mad about Kanye being crazy and running for president and doing all that stuff, but I'm not in the mood to talk about that stuff, even though I just gave you a little sneak peek. You guys can go check out any local news source for the latest gossip to figure out the stories for that. This is gonna be a quick episode because I will tell you I'm actually heading to the beach after this. It's super hot, super humid today. It's about 95 degrees right now. And even though I threw on this dress and this necklace and tried to straighten my hair, it's so humid, and in about 20 minutes I'm gonna look like Tina Turner. My hair is gonna curl up again. So I gotta go throw on my suit. I gotta go head to the beach. I'm going with Hayden, and we're gonna go meet up with one of my college friends, Johnny, who Hayden calls Auntie Johnny. So I'm gonna go meet up with him before my commercial break. No, not before my commercial break, before my interview. I hope you guys enjoy this commercial break.
My name's Eric Berger, and we met when I was playing baseball in the Cape in the summer. And I was at the University of Arizona, and I went to pursue a professional baseball career and played until about 2016, 2017. And throughout that career, I had many side notes that I had put in my phone about future potential projects, or just stuff I thought was a good idea. I would just kind of put in my phone, a lot of time spent on buses and traveling. So whenever I got a interesting thought, I would just put it in there. And that's kind of where this story arose from. We have a book called Martin the Mushroom, and it's a series that we're gonna continue doing more books, the Treasure Adventure series, because treasures are so fun to find. And
Sure are.
It's gonna be based on gemstones and bringing them to life and having a good story along with that. So this book right here is called Martin the Mushroom, what we're talking about today. And he is a mushroom that lives in the Jurassic period in a cave, and eventually gets eaten by a dinosaur and turns into coprolite, which is fossilized dinosaur poop. And fossilized dinosaur poop, preserved in a certain way over millions of years, turns into a sought after gemstone that is quite valuable and beautiful, and is put in earrings and necklaces and rings and all that. So I just thought it was a fun story to create and bring to life and educate from the kids to the parents and everybody in between who read it.
That is incredible. I love to hear this story, especially because you're on the road where you are away from your wife, away from your other family members, friends, and all that. So your imagination gets to be in your phone. And I'm glad to see it came to fruition after all of these years of writing all these notes you said in your iPhone, you have the note section is like totally filled, right? With all of your ideas.
I have close to 400 notes. I mean, that could be other book ideas to widgets to inventions to, I mean, anything in between, you name it, I got it.
All right, that's so awesome. So you became professional baseball player turned author. What else are we going to know you for? What are you going to invent? I'm so curious now.
Oh my gosh,
should you not say it?
That's the thing, is there's so many things I want to get involved with, and I'm picking and choosing wisely, but I mean, there really just needs to be I can't say yet, it's just too early, and I forget the term of the paper that you need to have people sign to be able to reveal it, but
so this is a gag order situation. We're not going to tell anybody. We're not going to give away all your inventions and creations.
For sure.
Later down the road, in like 20 years, let's do this interview again. And then you're like, Katie, I'm actually known for A, B, C, and D now. So let's do that.
So okay. Another reason, when I was playing, getting into hotels at 2 or 3 in the morning, I'd be hungry and I'd go to the vending machine and there wouldn't be very good options. So I do own a business called Majestic Munchies, and we're healthy vending machines in private schools and gyms and sporting facilities. So that's another aspect of my life is managing that business as well. But that's fun and easy. But I've just live and learn, and go from there.
You have kids. Was that kind of the starting point where you're like, I want something for them to have, like a treasured adventure over time? Or was it apart from being a dad? Like, what would you say was the main motivator to have you get it published?
In my notepad, the good thing about notes is there's a date of when you put it in there. And I put this in there at some point in 2015. So I had not had kids, but I think very general about people and society and bringing them together and creating good memories. So that's, and I feel like a kid because I have played a sport my whole life. I really do feel like a kid still in this body, even though I'm approaching my mid-30s and I'm not that old and not that young. Like, I'm very amateur mindset, you know what I mean? So our co-authors who we wrote this book with, they love dinosaurs a lot. And this is Ryan and Laura Clark are the co-authors, along with myself and my wife, Alexa. And Ryan's wife is an editor, and she works for Cal Lutheran College, and she edits papers for college and does all this stuff. So I knew I would need an editor. So I went to them and said, hey, I got this idea. And I told them the story, and this was very generic. I hadn't penned it on paper, but I had the idea. And I said, if I do this, Laura, would you be willing to help me edit it and kind of go from there? And they got pretty excited about the idea. I kind of lured them in with dinosaurs and all this, and educated them about coprolite as well, because nobody really is familiar with that. And from there, I went to Venice Beach and I just wrote the whole book. I wrote it all and not with a computer, just by hand in a little notebook. Because in my head, I've went through it so many times, that it was just easier to just get it all on there, and it's easier to take away than to add after that. So from there, and we got pregnant. So this process really took over 3 years because we got pregnant, took a hiatus. They got pregnant, took a hiatus. You know, it was just not a rush. It was a passion project. And they hooked us up with an editor that had done children's books before. So we wanted obviously some other advice as well, along with after our editing. And, you know, there's a lot of little things that go involved in terms of words on the page and what page, and your SIN number on your book. If you don't get it a certain way, you won't be allowed to go in children's libraries, or, you know, you won't own the rights to your book and certain percentages and all this business stuff, which I'm not really a fan of, but is obviously important. So from there, this lady, Linda, edited our book as well. And she works actually for the Red Rover Press. And then we went and found a illustrator on one of the websites. And we did a lot of work and had 4 or 5 or 6 different people. You know, we wanted them to give them a page of our book and have Martin and some dinosaurs. And obviously Geode is Amethysta Geodes, who's another important character in the book. But once we came back with the illustrator and some illustrations, Linda, this editor, said, wow, you know what? I actually own a publishing company as well, and I'd love to publish your book. And, you know, this is something we weren't expecting to hear. And we were kind of thrown off guard, and we were very appreciative. But we said, hey, we haven't even shopped around or even thought about this. So we kind of shopped around for a minute, but, you know, we just stuck with what we knew, and, you know, went with Linda, and, you know, she put out a good product for us. So, yeah, it's kind of a lot of crazy stuff that comes to the final product.
Well, and it's so interesting because you're learning a whole business aspect, because like you said, it is a passion project. So just being able to write it, and I was actually going to ask about your illustrations. I didn't know if any of the co-authors actually illustrated. So thank you for answering that question.
Yeah, no problem.
But to learn that business portion of it, that's a whole different avenue that you need to learn. You're like, I just want to write. I want to enjoy it. But now, I mean, it sounds like it's a great partnership with Linda, and hopefully you'll be able to work with her in the future for additional series, books in the series. I cannot talk today. It's the heat, I'm telling you. It's the heat. So I saw your Facebook Live where you actually read it, and you had a special host, a llama. So what was that all about? That was so cool. I really loved watching that.
That was through Ryan and Laura once again. They know this guy who's local to our area, and every Wednesday is called Waffle Wednesday, where the author, if it wasn't COVID time, we would have gone to his farm, and I would have been right in front of the llama reading. But he was just heard about our story, and so we did it virally, and just a way to get local authors and stories out there. And I mean, imagine a kid, you know, watching a story with like a little llama behind it. It was just such a good idea, and for a great cause, and just another way to get some cool exposure.
Absolutely. Well, you're giving llamas exposure. So the farmer that has it, hopefully, you know, he'll start to open up to the public again, and people will be able to go visit him, and then he can promote your book. If he has a gift shop, maybe he can put your book in there. Who knows?
Yeah, seriously.
There's all different ways. We're going to have you become like #1 on the New York Times bestseller list for Martin the Mushroom.
Absolutely. You know, we're all about it. We were able to do that through Amazon and stuff like that. Yeah, there's just so much unique things to learn about this, about writing books and getting exposure and whatnot. It's quite interesting.
That's amazing. So what would you say, out of this whole experience of being a first-time published author, what is the most rewarding thing that you've been able to experience during all of this?
Just having that product in hand and sharing it with everybody. You know, it's we did it for everybody, for the cuddle time with the kids, and to create memories, you know, when you're laying in bed, as you know, kids are running around all day and crazy, and the times when they're still and resting on you, and you're having a one-on-one conversation and you can really connect, is what it's all about. That's why we did it.
Excellent. So between you and Alexa and Laura and Ryan, how many kids are there total?
There are 4.
Okay. And please tell me they all have autographed copies of this book.
They do.
Okay, good.
They do. Their names, they've been mentioned in, that we wrote this book for them. And we actually all tried to have kids at the same time. And Ryan and Laura took a minute to get pregnant, and they got pregnant with twins. So, so they caught up real quick.
So yeah, exactly. So you're like, all right, let's raise kids together. Oh, they're like 2 for 1. We're done. This is amazing.
Yeah. They just turned 1 last week, actually. So it's
well, happy birthday to them.
Yeah. So very cool.
And I saw your daughter's pictures of her first birthday wearing her A League of Their Own outfit. I was obsessed. I'm like, yes, keeping the passion for baseball alive in your family.
Yes, 100%. At the end of this book, you'll know where the second book is going, and it has been run through so many times in my head that I just need a few hours, a half a day to sit down and put it on paper, and then edit from there, add and mainly subtract. I'll always put more and just kind of bring it back. This book is a little longer for, it all depends on the age, right? But like if you read it at a slower pace, it's going to be probably a 12 or 13 minute read. So the one thing that's unique about our story is, when you birth a child, you can read to them. So you can really read to them anything you want. It could be a kid's book. It could be an adult book, just to hear your voice and talk. But this book will work for that, and all the way really up to this book will resonate with a 9 and a 10-year-old. So there's a big range of age that can keep them drawn in. And we even put a glossary in this book. I'm so big on education, and I want it to be educational, that we put a glossary in, just from words and themes in the book. So I literally went through, this book takes place in the Jurassic period, which is one of the periods in the dinosaur era. So in my notepad, an apple was going to get eaten by a dinosaur and turn into coprolite. But now as I do more research and dig into the Jurassic period, I find that there are no flowering plants or any type of fruit, first of all. So, in the illustrations, there's only green and ferns and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, what was in the Jurassic period? What can I have that a dinosaur could eat that, I wanted that to be true. So I thought of fungus, I was like, there had to have been fungus, growing on the ground at the time. So that's how Martin came to be.
And I think by you doing research, not only are you giving the kids realistic educational lessons, because if you did put an apple and apples didn't exist in the Jurassic age, you're giving them false information. Exactly. But the book probably wouldn't have been the same if it was an apple. The idea is super cool, and you're like, yeah, this is where I'm going, but you really digging in deeper, you're like, wait, hold on a second. There would have been no Martin. It would have been like Adam the apple, or something like that. So totally. it was good for you to. So is the next book, I know it's in your head right now, it's probably in your notepad, are we continuing in the Jurassic period, or are we moving on to a different age?
This one will be a different age. Definitely a different age. It could be Egyptian, it could be the plains of Arizona. I see it heading in multiple directions there. So yeah, it's actually going to be, I can give it away, because once somebody reads it, it's not a secret, but it's going to be a gold nugget is going to be the Gus the Gold Nugget is going to be the feature of the next book.
All right, so you guys heard it here first. If you have not read the book yet, Gus the Golden Nugget. I'm so excited. So speaking of where we can actually find your book, because after this I am going to purchase a copy, because although you did read it aloud on Facebook Live, I do want to actually have a physical copy of my own. Where can we purchase your book?
So simple enough, all the Amazon Prime members, you can get a paperback through Amazon Prime. You can search for Treasure Adventures, you could search for Martin the Mushroom, and it'll be right there for you. I'm sure you'll get it within 48 hours. We've been having a little bit of issues with the hardcover through Amazon Prime. If you look it up, it's saying it's like over $40, which is not right at all. So we have our hardcover through Barnes & Noble, which will get delivered to your door. Each book is the same, just harder paperback, just kind of is your preference. The one that you're looking at here is obviously a hardcover, a great quality, and the pictures, like the illustrations in the hardcover are not glossy. You can see they're kind of like a flat, and the pictures, the pages in the soft are a little bit glossy. So I mean, I like both. It's really doesn't matter.
Well, and that's like a whole nother element of you have to learn about paper quality and what type, that's the whole aspect you never really anticipated.
Oh, for sure. And you see our book takes place in a cave. There's a lot of very dark colors, and that hurts profits actually, but because you're using more ink, right? So
absolutely.
F that, who cares?
No, but if you didn't fully, embrace or whatever you want to say, like if you didn't fully put out what you wanted and you're like, we have to go light on the colors, it wouldn't have been the book that you wanted anyway. So it's like, ink it all up, put all the dark colors. Absolutely. And then, well, the golden nugget is going to shine so brightly. Maybe it's going to be more of a white page with like, bling on the sides.
That's the last of our worries, but you absolutely, we're going to shine, and we're just going to do us. And, we just want to get the stories out there and bring families together and have a cool, record of, 4 or 5 books that will lead to the next, to the next, to the next. The best thing, it's when you have the series completed and somebody catches one book and then they go back to get the other books. So on the financial side, there are more benefits to have a series, and, like you helping me, social media and influencers and all that kind of stuff can really change your direction.
For sure. And speaking of social media, where can we find you? Because we want to love and support you and follow this journey.
We appreciate it. So
of course.
Instagram is just treasure_adventures, and you'll find our story. The picture is like the cover of the book. And then Facebook, we have a group, it's The Treasure Adventures on Facebook, where you'll have direct access to all 4 of us authors, and as we launch new stuff, or we want questions too. I mean, I guess a lot of them are answered and there's stuff like that, but if there's any questions that anybody has, and we love pictures of your kids reading the books, and we'll potentially ask you if we can post it on social media. We love stuff like that, so much appreciated.
Of course. No, I'm here to support you, because you've been so wonderful in the 15 years of knowing you, even though we haven't seen each other. I remember your last night on the Cape, your bus was like taking off to the airport in the middle of the night, and I was like, oh, I'll drive you to the bus station, don't even worry about that, so it's like, if I thought you were weird, I never would have done that, so it's like
appreciated.
Just kidding.
Oh man, and that was such a great experience. The Cape draws in people from all over the country, and to be, I have family that are in upstate New York and all that, so I'm very familiar with the East Coast, but the Cape is something special, and some of the best college baseball, summer baseball in the world, hands down.
For sure. I'm devastated that they had to cancel it this season. They did call it like middle of May, and obviously I knew for good reason they were going to cancel it, but I feel like a little empty hole in my heart, because it's such an amazing part of the Cape experience, going there, not only for the players, but the fans, family members that come out and visit and watch the action take place. So
I know 2020 is just, it's something that nobody's ever experienced before. So I couldn't imagine being a player. Well, it really depends on, if I was a player, a freshman, it doesn't really impact you as much as like a junior in college. Or a senior in high school, just these guys have been working their whole life for this stuff, and it's just very fluid time.
It is. But we can just hope and pray for everybody's safety, and then next summer we'll be back in full force.
I hope you enjoyed my interview with Eric. Isn't he such a sweet guy? I'm super excited to see what else he has up his sleeve in the months and even years to come regarding his Treasure Adventure series. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I will probably be somewhere boring, like at my house again or something like that next week, but I want to thank you guys for tuning into this special Cape Cod edition of the Antisocial Socialite. But until then, I'll see you later.